Okay, from the previous video, we talked about using the factor compound angle to derive factor formula. What is so nice about the factor formula again? Something adding or subtraction could be put it into multiplication. Okay, so when we usually have to deal with this type of question, so let's have a look. Sine x is equal to sine 5x. So whenever we are given these questions in the early stage of the trigonometry, we had to use what? The calculator. We had to use calculator to see to find what? The points of intersection between two trigonometric functions. So we had to draw the sine x, and the sine 5x will be very fast. And then we had to find the point of intersection of each by using the technology. But for now, we are actually able to solve this without having any calculator. So let's have a look. So if I do the rearrangement, now I have sine x minus sine 5x is equal to 0. When something is equal to 0, this is equation. I'm trying to find the value of x. So let's suppose x is defined from 0 to 2 pi, just for our convenience, okay? And in this form, now it is quite hard to solve this one yet because it's in plus or minus. We can't use the Newton's factor law. It has to be in product. But factor formula allows us to multiply, convert into the form where we're going to be multiplying. So after some rearrangement, I managed to come up with this. It's quite easy to do so by using the compound angle. Please help yourself with using this formula to derive this form. But I'm going to be directly using this. So if my m was x and my n was 5x, I can use the factor formula here. So in fact, sine x minus sine 5x will be equal to what? 2 cosine, the addition of each angle divided by 2. So x plus 5x divided by 2 times sine of what? X minus 5x over 2 is equal to 0. So we are trying to solve this equation, right? And then, so let's simplify first. I have 2 cosine 3x times sine negative 2x is equal to 0. And because we know, well, we can divide by 2 on each. And also, the sine negative 2x, because the odd function, the negative factor will come out as being negative. Right? So it's going to be minus cosine 3x sine 2x is equal to 0 because sine of minus x is equal to minus sine x. Okay? Then obviously we can multiply the negative factor here again to make it positive on both sides. So I need to solve this or this to be 0. Now we have everything in terms of a product. As we already discussed, a times b is equal to 0 implies either a is equal to 0 or b is equal to 0. Good. So I'm going to be talking cosine 3x, first of all, is equal to 0, which is very simple to solve because, first of all, every time we do this type of question, realization of what? Now I'm going to use what's up? Domains up. So I'm going to treat a is equal to 3x. So essentially, we are just trying to solve what? Cosine A is equal to 0, which is easy because now I can talk about the standard angle t. When does cosine A become 0? The standard angle is pi over 2. And then the location of him being 0 will be either the first, so pi over 2, or 3 pi over 2. But whenever we do the domain sum, we already talked about, we have to be careful with the boundaries of A because x was defined from where? X was defined from 0 to 2 pi. That means A is defined from 0 to 6 pi. So instead of one circle, we have how many circles? We're going to have 3 different circles. So from 0 to 2 pi, from 2 pi to 4 pi, and from 4 pi to 6 pi. And here, what do we have? Here, for cosine to be 0, either this or here, pi over 2 or 3 pi over 2. And then they rotate by 2 pi. So if I have a to be pi over 2, 3 pi over 2, then I can just add 2 pi to derive the next 4 different solutions, right? So if I just add 2 pi, it's going to be 5 pi over 2, and then 7 pi over 2 for the second circle. And if I add 2 pi again, it's going to be 9 pi over 2, and then 11 pi over 2. So essentially, we can find the 6 different solutions for A. Cosine A is equal to 0. But we're not done, right? Because we have to divide by 3 to achieve x. Because A was 3x, is now defined from pi over 2 to 11 pi over 2. So I can just simply divide by this 3. So all the solutions will be in the bounds of x defined from 0 to 2 pi. So it's going to be pi over 6 up to 11 pi over 6. So yes, I can talk about the solution for cosine 3x. Similar method will be applied to sine 2x, which will be even simpler because there are it's just in terms of pi and 2 pi. So the thing about the factor formula is allows us to convert from addition to multiplication, where then we can extend to the factor formula, the Newton's factor law. Therefore, we can solve this equation. So next question, then we'll be talking about what if it's an addition between not just the same function, but sine x and cosine x. And furthermore, what if the coefficients are given differently? What if it was just 2 sine x minus 3 cosine 2x? How can we then convert into? We're going to look at some of the more advanced questions. Thank you.